What's up, gang? It's Jay here, your accountability coach and ghetto psychologist, and it is my life purpose to help, I'm sorry, y'all, Black people navigate this patriarchal system of white supremacy. Let me get myself together. It was together, I promise you. It's like a ghost came here and moved all my shit out the fucking way. Um, it is November 28th, the day after Thanksgiving. It is the dreadful Black Friday, to which I hope none of you motherfuckers been out here shopping, because that's crazy if you were. Um, I'm always gonna highlight this book on every video I do. So for the next 2, 3 months, yeah, you're gonna always see me talk about this book, Thorn to the Eye. This is my upcoming book. The pre-order will be open on January 16th. I ain't gonna talk too much about this today, but just so you know what's to come. Uh, if you want more information about that, you can go to my website. You can go look at a couple other videos. I talk about it and I read the back, and I think I read an excerpt. Maybe I didn't post it yet. But anyway, so let's get into what we're talking about today. It's not gonna Let me not tell that lie that I'm not gonna take too long. I don't know how long it's gonna take. Because I always say, oh, I'm not gonna take too long on this topic, and then I get to talking and I realize it's such a weighted topic that it's just you gotta take time to discuss. But I'm gonna talk about relationships today. I'm gonna talk about not regretting love. I find, especially if we think, oh my God, why the fuck is he so loud? I'm sorry if y'all hear somebody. Um, we're talking about not regretting love, and I'm saying this in the midst of Kandi and Todd have decided to call it quits, and I'm not really gonna use their relationship as an example per se throughout this entire video, but I am going to just talk about them just a little bit, right? And the reason I'm going to talk about them today is because, like I said, I want to talk about not regretting love because humans, we have a huge issue, and I think it's mostly due to social conditioning, societal conditioning, that we feel like our relationships should not end, and when they do end, we're failures, right? Depending on how they end, we may wish that it never happened at all. And I get it. To be a human is very complex. It's very childish. We are a very childish species. I don't care what anybody says. I feel like we're very, as a group, right? Some of us individually excel, but some of us, we're just very, it's not bright. For lack of better words, humans are not always bright. And in general, I think we're missing a lot of marks, because we're just so emotionally driven. The logic is sometimes here and sometimes not. Very subpar, I say. And again, this is a generalization because again, there is a whole vast majority of people who are just normal, whatever that means, and then you got some that's on the very low end, and you got some on the very high end. But I think even the normies, yeah. So relationships. I talk about relationships in my book. I talk about how we glamorize relationships and the problem behind that. And you'll see me talk about that on this page, how we often glamorize relationships. And that's one of the biggest issues that we have when it comes to how relationships, how we navigate them and how they end. I promise you, one thing I said in this book is the way relationships end typically is by what was ignored in the beginning. And using Kandi and Todd as an example, I feel like Mama Joyce always knew it was something there with Todd. Now, I ain't gonna say the man was an opportunist because I don't know these people again. This is just outside looking in opinion. But what I can say is um something wasn't always the milk wasn't always clean. And we could tell just by just being a viewer of their relationship on national television. Like, if your family really is against your marriage, it's not to say your family's always right, but they're it's a deeper reason for that. That if you ignore it, it might come back to bite you in the ass later. I know just from personal experience, even just from looking at women who go through this, from celebrities to everyday women, when women, black women especially, date down, the writings are always on the wall, and you are highly likely. Is that a word? Hirely? higher like higher higher or likelier? Likelier. There we go. My God, you are likelier to experience a divorce when you date down as a black woman. And women in general, but especially as a black woman, because our men have this ego driven thing where they have been stripped so they've been so effeminized that to the point where um you have to literally kind of coddle them all the time. And if you are in a position where you in the world, you're masculine, you're the head of the household, men either go one or two ways most of the time. Either they are overcompensating for what they feel like is their lack of masculinity because the woman is the breadwinner. So then by overcompensating, I mean they become more controlling, they more defiant, even though I mean, more defiant, more uncooperative for a better word, if not defiant. They just be they start to externalize that issue, that pressure, that relating their value to their wallet. That's what happens under the patriarchy. Men relate their value to the wallet, to their wallets, not intrinsic value, not, oh, what can I add to her life emotionally, spiritually, shit, what can I do for her? You know what I'm saying? It's more so I ain't got no money and the world tell me I gotta have all the money to be the breadwinner and to be the head of the household, but she making all the money, she the head of the household. So I don't know if I can even lead properly. Is she gonna listen to me? Is she gonna call me a weak ass nigga because I ain't making as much money as her? It's this thing. It's this thing. So the writings be on the wall when it was kind of with Kandi and Todd situation. Sad to speak, but I'm really surprised that they made it this long, over a decade. So I guess that's a little bit more admirable than not. But this is the thing when it comes to relationships. You should not regret anything. I don't care how terrible the relationship is, right? Um, and I'm gonna make this a little personal. And I'm gonna make this personal because I want to talk about the Ray J and Princess situation too, real quick. I'm gonna try my best not to get triggered while I look at this video, but I'm gonna look up this video so y'all can kind of see what was going on here and we can kind of chime in and talk about this together. Hang on one second. Let me pull this up. Oh, my last video getting views. That's crazy. Princess and Ray J fights. Okay, I think this is the one I can use. Yeah, I'm very sorry if y'all hear a loud man's voice in the background, okay? It's the holidays, people still here running their goddamn mouth. All right, hang on, y'all. Let me pull this up real quick. And I'm gonna share it so we can all look together. I saw um I saw this really already. So, but let's go.
Like, I'm not, like, ain't nobody taking my kids away from me on Thanksgiving, bro. They in my house. They making threats to me. What's up? What you trying to do? Take my kids?
Yes, I'm getting my kids.
Okay, take your kids. Watch how they cry. Take my kids because y'all drunk. Y'all want to drive drunk? Y'all want to drive drunk? Drive drunk. Drive drunk, princess.
Right, you just
drive drunk.
You just pointed a gun.
Drive drunk.
You just pointed a gun.
Drive drunk, princess. Go ahead. You want to take my kids? You and your drunk cousin? Because y'all drunk as and y'all alcoholics? Take my kids then. Go ahead. Who's gonna drive? Tony, he's been drinking
I'm not
too.
driving.
Who's been driving? Everybody? I didn't point nothing at y'all.
You pointed a gun at us.
I didn't point nothing at y'all.
You pointed a gun at us.
Yeah, whatever.
You pointed a gun at us.
Why you waking my daughter up?
You pointed a gun at us.
Why did you just wake my daughter up?
Us.
Why did you just wake my daughter up?
All I wanted to do was have a good Thanksgiving.
Why did you wake my daughter up?
Ray.
Because you're selfish.
Delusional.
You're drunk.
You're a woman abuser.
You're
and
drunk.
You're delusional.
I'm a woman. That's
yes,
what drunk
you
people
are.
say. Like you're taking my daughter?
Grow the up.
All right,
Seriously.
cool.
You need to.
You're not taking my son.
Ray.
Like I know you're not taking my son. Hey,
don't touch.
Hold on, bro. I swear to God, I'll shoot the fuck out of you.
Shoot
Y'all
me
get
right
out of my
now.
house.
Shoot
Y'all
me
get out
right
of my
now.
house.
Shoot me right now.
Oh, I swear to God,
Shoot
bro.
me right now.
Take my son.
No.
I hate you over the fucking head, bro.
Hey, you supposed to be family.
Nah, get the fuck out of here. You in my house.
Hey.
Bro, stop, dog. I'll kill you, bro. Stop. I'll kill you,
Stop.
I'll kill you, bro.
Stop. Okay. I know you will, but stop. I'm trying to help you out.
All right, cool.
You good? Yep. Literally, they're about to pull up right now. Let's chill.
Cool. All right, cool.
Literally. Yep, we cool. All right, let go.
All right, I don't think you really need to see too much because you don't see anything else after this. You just hear a bunch of scuffling and background noise, and I think the police end up coming in the end, and you hear them kind of walking through the house. Um, okay, so when I first saw this, I'm gonna lie to y'all. Like I said, to make it personal, make sure it's done sharing. Okay, I am someone who's experienced domestic violence before, and the first time I saw that, I just uncontrollably cried because it took me back and I didn't realize like I've worked through a lot of what happened, but I also realize sometimes I dissociate. So some things come up and I don't even realize like, oh, I'm still bothered by that happening, or I'm still bothered when I see it happening to someone else. Which I don't know if that's a bad thing. I don't know if it's something I'll ever get over. You know what I'm saying? Because I want y'all to understand I have not been in that relationship in over 10 years. It's been over 10 years, bro, since I've been in that abusive relationship. And here we are, still crying when we see it happen to other women. And it was just mainly the whole her holding her baby thing. Cause I was there. I've been there. Holding my child, fighting with her father. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And people will blame both sides, which if you want to blame me if you want to. I blame y'all. This is the thing. Let me sidebar real quick. Y'all like to blame folks for shit that they already blame themselves for or already have worked through blaming themselves for. So it's almost like y'all love just beating dead horse. Y'all want to beat people down, and you got to realize most of us are our own worst critics. So if you want to look at me or even Princess, and I'm going to talk about her too, though, I'm going to hold her accountable. But if you want to look at me or even Princess and just be like, it's our fault that these men are like that, you're fucking crazy. Now, it might be our fault, quote unquote, for staying longer than we should have, for continuously having children with these men. Okay, I'll take that. What if she might not, but I'll take it. But it ain't my motherfucking fault that man crazy. And it's not her fault that Ray J is crazy. She should not have to deal with that. And neither should her children. Period. Period. There's nothing to argue about there. But Princess also, like I said, hold her accountable. Princess is not squeaky clean. Um she definitely coddled Ray J and exhausted him in the way that a lot of women do black men. So there's a lot to be said about that. But we're not talking about them as per se as far as relationships goes. This is just examples of things that happen in most relationships and why they end. And when you're in a situation like Princess, right? Or like how I was, we tend to get to that space where we're like, oh, I regret this. I regret ever meeting you. I regret being in this relationship. I wish this never happened. I wish I never met you and all of that shit. And you gotta be, like I said, that's human. It's human nature to feel that way. But to be realistic, you have to be realistic. You can't say, these two things, right? Especially if you had children with the relationship that you regret. Ultimately, saying you regretted that relationship means you regret your children. And you might not think that way, right? You might not think that way, but there is an inadvertent link there. You would not have had the children that you have. I had this discussion. Hopefully, you don't be mad at me for saying this, but I had this discussion with one of my close friends, one of my best friends in the whole wide world. And I'm like, you cannot say you regret meeting their father, but you love your children. You can't have it both ways. You have to absolve whatever regret that is, whatever blame that you are, um, I guess, projecting upon yourself. You have to learn how to get rid of that shit, work through it, so that you can come out on the other side like, you know what, it wasn't always bad. And if you go into one of the, okay, let me say it this way, one of the best ways to work through the regret aspect is to really just put the onus on yourself and be like, what the fuck was broken inside of me? What was wrong with me? To which, number one, the attraction is not that important as much as the entertainment. I entertained this person. I developed feelings for this person. I made excuses for this person. I stayed with this person, and then I continue to reproduce with this person, or whatever the case may be. You got to put it back on yourself, and it cannot be regret. It's too easy. First of all, regret is one of the easy regret, resentment. All of those are easy emotions. They're easy because they're low vibrational emotions. Low vibrational emotions are easy. They're easy to slip through and hold on to because they're worldly, and we are in the world. We're in the physical form, so it's easy for you to be sad. It's easier for you to be mad than it is for you to be happy. So you slip into that regret, you slip into that, oh, I wish it never happened, instead of working to, you know what, I'm glad that happened. It was fucked up, but I'm glad it happened. I am so happy that I met my child's father, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be this motherfucker I am today. I know I wouldn't. He is not to, and it's not even to give them credit, right? It's giving yourself credit because you met them, right? That was a part of the journey. You were supposed to meet them, but you ultimately took the downside of meeting them and you turned it into something wonderful. You had children. You love your children. That was the wonderful part. And whatever else you fucking learned, because ain't no way you didn't learn nothing about yourself, about them. Maybe you learned to love yourself more. Maybe you learned that you didn't really love yourself as much as you thought you did in the first place. And that taught you how to love yourself more. You cannot regret these relationships, y'all, just because they ended. And even if they end bad, do not regret love, y'all. Because again, I'm gonna tell y'all one thing about the universe, God, source, all the things, whatever existence, whatever you want to call it, it's all the same to me. One thing about it, when you begin to show a lack of gratitude to the universe for something it feels like it blessed you with, because see, the universe is not looking at what is happening as something that's being done to you. It's being done for you. It's something you need to learn, work through when you meet people. Because I say in the book, and I think I said it before, we're all just walking projections of what God wants us to learn. We're lessons. Everybody's mirroring a lesson to each other. All your relationships, whatever contention you have in it, it's a lesson in it. And it's something within you that that other person is mirroring that you need to look at the reflection, see it in yourself, and fix it. Even if it's just the complete opposite. Maybe you just judging that person because they're doing whatever. You don't need to judge them. You need to let them be who they are, meet them where they at. Okay. And that's one of the biggest issues that we have when it comes to relationships is we don't meet people where they at. We meet people where we want them to be. Or we meet them in the middle and hope that they got the desire, the willpower, and the sense to meet us in that same middle space. But sometimes some motherfuckers only travel this far and you done traveled that far. And you don't travel that far. They travel this far, you travel this far. And you're trying to get them, hey, come on, come. You're doing this, right? And then men will do this, right? Some men will do what I'm about to say women do. Most women do. Women are just gonna run that whole way. The man go that way, a woman gonna go this way. She gonna go that whole length. She's not gonna care. She will travel double the time. But not only will she travel double time, she'll be tired when she get there and expect him to lift her up. That's women's problem. You see that analogy? Whereas a man, he's if he meets you halfway, that's good enough. Sometimes you gotta just be okay with that. But if you just sitting there standing still and he walks all the way there, it might work out a little bit better because a lot of time men want women to be needy. That's a whole nother conversation. That's just one analogy to looking at it. And then another analogy I like to talk about when it comes to this situation, when it comes to like, love, being in relationships and losing love or a relationship ends. Every time a relationship ends, we think we lost something. We lost something. And it's not to say we didn't lose something because you did lose a relationship, right? You're grieving the loss of a relationship, so to speak. But did you really lose something though? You know what I'm saying? It's like, would I have been a better person if I stayed with this person? If so, then yes, you did lose something. If not, you didn't lose anything, you just hurt. And to be hurt is to be normal. It's human. All right. It's human to be hurt. So I think of it like this. When you leave a relationship that you needed to leave, you're not losing anything. It's you just hurt. So think of it like this. Maybe somebody stepped on your toe, right? They stepped on your big toe and it hurt. We all know when somebody step on your foot, it hurts. Your big toe is sore. It's in pain. It's in pain. It's been in pain for a couple of days. Nothing's broken, right? But it's just in pain. It just hurts. It's sore. But you still got your toe. Your toe is still there. It just hurt. So it's the same thing when it comes to relationships. And even if you lose in a physical form, right? Because we can't act like relationships don't affect us physically. The end of relationships don't affect us physically. But even if you lost something physically, did you lose something intrinsically? What did you gain? This is always the most important part. What did you gain? You gain children. That's irreplaceable. They're invaluable. You can't really, like I said, if you gain children out of a relationship, there should be absolutely no regret. None. Not even, and I'm saying, of course, it's okay if you have to work through it, right? Because we all have to. I had to. But you shouldn't. You shouldn't because it's a conflict. And like I said, when you are if you're giving conflicting information to the universe is in conflict about what to deliver to you. So because you regret this relationship with this person, you might not get another one, right? Or you regret this relationship with this person, but you got children. Your children can that feeling, those emotions, they can be projected onto your children in some kind of way. Especially if you don't like who you procreated with. Maybe you say things to your child about the fact that you don't like who you procreated with. See, I don't talk much about my procreation partner. I ain't never termed that. I don't talk. I shouldn't even call him my partner, but the person who I procreated with. There we go. I don't talk about him negatively to my daughter. But she knows what she knows. And what's so crazy is going back to that video, she remembers. These babies remember stuff like that. That Princess and Ray J, them children gonna remember that for the rest of their life. They're not going to forget that. And I make a joke with my child, like, girl, when you get older, well, she's been in therapy, but when she get older, therapy hits different when you're an adult. I'm like, girl, just send me a couple bills. I'll pay for it. I'll help you out. But yeah, y'all, we cannot regret when relationships end. Take the lesson, bro. They're there for a reason, and when you don't learn your lessons, you're not going to. Let me say this right. When you don't learn your lessons, it's a lower likelihood of you to meet the person that is going to be good for you or to keep them long term. You're gonna fail. You're gonna scare them off because you're not ready for what they have to offer. And it's really all about us. It's about us understanding our worthiness. That saves us a lot when it comes to being retrospective about our past relationships. And it also saves us a lot when it comes to just moving forward. Because I don't deserve what happened to me. I don't regret this relationship, but I don't deserve what happened to me. I know I don't deserve what happened to me. As long ago as it's always been over a decade. And for some reason, this year especially, but primarily after seeing that video, it's starting to kind of like I don't want to say going backwards because that's not the right terminology because I can't go backwards anyway. But I'm retrospective, I guess that's the better word. Like I'm so much more retrospective this year because I'm working through something much deeper than I have before. And like I said, to make things personal, I'm not dating, right? I have not had sex. It'll be 2 years in 2026, January. So 2 years and a couple months. I've never done this before. Um, it's at first I was proud and now I'm just like indifferent about it, right? Because it's not that I am celibate or abstinent, whatever. I'm not even celibate, but I'm not abstinent. I'm not abstaining for a particular reason other than I'm just so focused on myself. My individual journey has exploded and imploded this year to a point where I'm just like, I can't even picture myself dating right now. Hopefully next year I'm gonna get back into my bag because your girl used to have a rotation and everything a long time. Well, now I want to say, well, a long time ago, yeah, about 5 years ago, girl was having rotation. I was having my way out here. But it's like now I don't care about that. And people will ask me, well, don't you want to get married? Don't you want to have a family? Don't you want to do this and don't you want to do that? My purpose is bigger than those things too. Even though I want them, and it's like I'm starting to get it. That's why I have to say I get Jesus way more now in my life than I ever have. Jesus' path was not to have a family. And that's not to say mine isn't, right? But I get it. Because even though I think my path is to eventually have a family, I got other shit to do before I do that. I can't even focus on that, right? I got other shit to do. And my path, my purpose is so much bigger that if I never become a wife, if I don't become a mother all over again, if I don't have another child, I'm okay with that as long as I complete my mission. And stuff like this is a part of the mission. So on that note, since I pulled this and we're at the end of this video, um, let's see if I can find something to read from the relationship book. Relationship chapter. First of all, let's go over some of these chapters in this book. Again, this is the book that I'm editing from. I got some fresh copies, but just so y'all can see, these are the things I'm telling you guys to unplug from. Right? You got fake self-empowerment. I don't think y'all can read that way. Just realize fake self-empowerment, fake white superiority, religion, negative gender ideals, sexual oppression and suppression, unrealistic romantic standards and expectations, and more. So we got table contents in this book. We got key terms in the back. We got the references. So I want y'all to know this is a real, like, somewhat of a scholarly piece because there's sources in this thing. All right, so we're gonna let me find a little piece of this to read for you people. All right, so around 10 to 15 years ago, we began to regularly use the term Black love. The term overemphasized romantic relationships in the Black community. We all began to say couple goals to what we perceived as healthy relationships. We wanted Black love, but it came with unrealistic expectations. We won't understand each other in relationships until we understand ourselves. There's a mindset that a relationship must present itself in a certain way to the public, even if it's held at home. It all has to look perfect, but no relationship is perfect. Comparably, some people want their relationships to be idolized by others due to longevity. It doesn't matter that 15 out of the 20 years they were together, one or both of them cheated. It doesn't matter that they don't like each other as long as they can flaunt the length of their relationship. Remember when everyone loved Will and Jada relationship? What about Beyonce and Jay-Z? Remy Ma and Papoose? Think of numerous social media couples you may know that are no longer together. Furthermore, it's always some toxicity going on with them that we, the general public, found out about once it ends. One major issue of relationships is worrying what others think about it. We want to prove something to the outside world, primarily that our relationship is healthy or never ending. Another reason we want the world to think highly of our relationships is that we want people to think we are able to maintain one, that we have what it takes. It's a little bit deeper. Let's see. I'm gonna read this part and we're gonna be done. Relationships run in cycles. Romance will not always be present, and this is why the emphasis on friendship is echoed from people in long-term relationships. It is unrealistic to want sunshine and rainbows all the time. It is normal that you and your mate go through periods of emotional isolation and distance. However, people on the outside looking in will never understand, even if they are in a relationship and experience that same cycle themselves. The reason is that though many of us experience the normal cycle of emotional distance in our own relationships, we typically don't like that part of it. We try to deny it even happens most of the time. People want to unrealistically hold on to the honeymoon stage throughout the entirety of the relationship. They expect the representative to stay and the mask to never fade. Eventually, you will get to know the good, bad, and ugly about someone the more time you spend with them. This is why it is more important to really like the person you are in a relationship with. And many people find themselves disliking their partners overall. Yeah, this is, like I said, I kind of skipped around. This wasn't even a I'm very excited about this book. It's like when I read it out loud, then I'm like, okay, I realize that this is very meaningful. I'm my own worst critic. As somebody who is a creative, we typically, most creatives are, we're our own worst critics. And it's like, I'm gonna end on this note. This creative process with this book, first of all, I talked a little bit about this, but just to get a little deeper, it started, like I said, in March. And I can't even tell you like the complete chain of events of how it even began. But I just know I was tired. I was frustrated. I'm like, we are in Trump administration. I can't even, first of all, I can't believe this bitch nigga won. Number two, I can believe all the things that are happening at that time because again, it was March, it's the first 100 days, right? I can believe that everything was happening at that time, but it still just felt like the Twilight Zone act because people really didn't believe what he said and what the other motherfucker said from that Project 2025. And it's like, damn, it's so sad that y'all have to be made believers of something negative. Why do you want if somebody tell you they gonna BOMB your front lawn, why would you want to see if they really would? You don't want to FAFO. You don't want to F fuck around and find out. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is not have it happen at all. But see, these people didn't care. They was like, well, we're just gonna find out. And y'all finding out. I'm sorry, y'all. My lips be so dry every time I come on here. I just keep some lip gloss or something in here. I'm over here looking like Tyrone Biggins. I'm looking real homeless at home. That's crazy. But getting back into this creative process. So I started in March and I just couldn't stop. I couldn't stop writing. I was just writing and typing. I mean, I got whole notebooks pretty much filled up with stuff and it was just like I don't know what it was, and it was like I just want to write a book about this. I want to write a book about this. What do I want to write about? And then I did a whole book list of all the things I wanted to write about and how I wanted to break shit down and draw the link of how the white patriarchy influences everything and how slavery really was the catalyst to all of this bullshit. But even before slavery, there's something that happened before slavery that led to slavery. And I wanted to talk about that. And I talk about all of that. And before I knew it, it was this big ass book because this is a big book. Any book over 200 pages is pretty big. And it's over 200 pages, almost 300 pages. It's over 250 pages, just to be clear. And it's like, This book at first was, I was like, I'm just gonna do like 150 pages. March, y'all. March of this year, 2025. It is November. I completed this book really, we're talking 6 months. But the editing process, of course, the editing process is always going to extend for like another 3, 4 months because you want to make sure you got it. It got to look right. It got to sound right. It got to flow. It got to have a real thread throughout the entire book. And I think I've done that. I think I've drawn the link to how the things that makes us human, at least 90% or so, 80 to 90%, how those things are maligned against us through white supremacy and the patriarchy. So if you want more information about this book, y'all just check out my website below. If you got this far, I love you. This is really good. I feel like I am coming into this new cycle, new journey, new way of life, and I'm nervous and excited and happy and sad because I know there's things that are going to be left behind. I just have that feeling. Um, but overall, really grateful. So I'll see y'all on the next one. Yup, yup, yup.